Hi there, everyone. This is Jelaila Starr, and welcome to my weekly messages. Sometimes, I don't always know what to talk about. So I call some of my friends, and this morning I called my good friend Julie Dickey, and we tossed some ideas around, and then we came to the topic of family, and that one seems to fit because I like to do a video that kind of fits the energy of the day. And today, the energy is just, it's painful. It's somewhat chaotic. And when I turn on the Weather Channel in the morning just to see what's going on, and I like the music, I like the upbeat energy of that. But lately I've noticed that I tend to be concerned before I turn it on because I don't know if there's going to be another catastrophe that they're reporting. But anyway, I turned it on, and sure enough there was, and this one hit really close to home because there's 8+ inches that fell in Oklahoma City. And my mother who's 79 and not far from having to be in a wheelchair, was right in the path of that storm. So I wasn't able to reach her this morning when I tried to call. And of course it has me concerned because I know that that could easily have affected her considering where she lives. So when we touched, back to Julie and I, when we touched on the topic of family, I knew that was it. And I knew that, and because I feel that so many of us are probably feeling the same thing. I mean, here we are ascending and we're doing our emotional clearing and we're doing what we need to do to be safe, because emotional clearing, as I understand, is the key to safety in the future. But our families are not doing that. Many of them are very 3D and they haven't chosen this path with us. And we are watching this occur. We're seeing our families affected. I mean, I think of all the light workers. We have family along the Gulf Coast, or those with family in Ohio that were affected by the tornado, or those who are in Texas, or have family in Texas who were hit by the hail yesterday. They had grapefruit-sized hail, 6-inch hail in Moore County, Texas. Can you believe that? I mean, imagine getting hit with some of those things in the head. Wow. I know that this is all predicted. I know that this is what we were told was going to happen in the last few years. We were told this was part of the changes and it was designed to shake people up. But it's how do you get past the anger and the frustration and the helplessness that you feel, especially when your family is involved. I mean, I think about my mom. What do I do? I mean, sometimes I just want to shake her because, you can't go and recruit them. You can't force your beliefs down their throat. You're not supposed to even share it unless they ask, and only share what they want and nothing more. You really have to think like a higher dimensional being who knows that you only give people what they ask for and no more. And you can't force them to do walk any particular path. So where does that leave you? Well, you still feel frustrated and you still feel helpless, and that's just the way it is. And I'm going to continue to feel helpless and frustrated because I know that if I were to try to step in and rescue my mother or enable her or try to force her down a certain spiritual path, I would not be helping her, because from the higher perspective, I realize she has her own path. She knows it. She knew what journey she wanted to take, and as a creator God goddess that we all are, I have to realize she is also one, and she's chosen to create that reality for herself, for her own growth, and I have to accept that. I don't necessarily have to understand it or agree with it, but I have to accept it if I'm going to be loving. And so my response then is that, yes, I can still feel helpless and I can still feel somewhat frustrated, but don't condemn her, don't judge her for her path. Only, if she asks for help, give her help, but give her non-judgmental help. And be like a 3D guide. Be like a guide in 3D. And treat her just the way my guides would have treated me if I was in a situation. They wouldn't run down here and rescue me. They wouldn't tell me, oh, how terrible this is. What they would do is they would be very loving. very supportive, very encouraging, and letting me know that all is as it should be, help me find the higher perspective, and help me with suggestions only if I ask for the next step. I mean, how do I get out of this? That's what a guy would do. So I realize that while our families are going through their crises and they're being affected, we are being affected as well. But at the same time, we are in 3D guide training. This is our time to step into the 3D guide role and be guides, act as a guide to our family members, and be loving and compassionate, but not rescuing and enabling. So I think this is really important, especially for those of us who are way showers, because we will have family members who will be affected. So we are to be a way shower, but not an enabler. So anyway, that was my thought for the day. I hope it's helpful to you. For those who want to learn more about how to do this, there is going to be a way shower training in Nyack, New York this coming weekend. We have a few seats left, so if you're in the area, you might want to reserve your seat now. Okay, that's it, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.